Morning, pirates! We are on our next chapter in our story with Jack and Annie titled Dolphins at Daybreak. Now, Jack and Annie just met Morgan Le Fay in the Magic Tree House, didn't they? Now, Morgan needed help, and she needed master librarians to collect some books. But Jack and Annie aren't master librarians yet, so they're on a mission to become master librarians. So, Chapter 2 is titled The Reef. All right, guys. So, now, I wore those glasses yesterday, and they just didn't fit very well. So I think I'm going to borrow Miss Dallas's, and I think these will work a lot better. What do you think? Yeah? Okay, perfect. Here we go. A breeze blew through the window. Seagulls cried. Waves lapped the shore. Annie picked up the riddle scroll. She unrolled it. Together, she and Jack read the riddle. Rough and gray as rock, I'm plain as plain can be. But hidden deep inside, there's great beauty in me. What am I? Ooh, that's a good riddle. I wonder what they're going to be searching for. Let's go find the answer, said Annie. She and Jack rolled out the window. The treehouse wasn't in a tree. It was on the ground. Why is the ground pink, said Jack. I don't know, said Annie, but I'm going out there. I'm going to do a little research first, said Jack. Annie climbed out of the treehouse, and Jack picked up the ocean book and flipped through it. He found a picture of a pink island surrounded by water. He read, "This is a coral reef. Corals are tiny sea animals. After they die, their skeletons remain. Over time, the reef builds up from stacks and stacks of coral skeletons." "Oh man, tiny skeletons?" said Jack. He pulled out his notebook and wrote, "Millions of coral skeletons." Jack, come look at this," cried Annie. "What is it?" I don't know yet, but you'll love it," she said. Jack threw his notebook and his ocean book into his pack. He climbed out the window. "Is it the answer to the riddle?" I don't think so. It doesn't look very plain," said Annie. She was standing at the edge of the water. Beside her was a strange-looking machine. Jack hurried over the bumpy coral to get a better look. The machine was half on the reef and half in the clear blue water. It looked like a huge white bubble with a big window. "Is it a special kind of boat?" said Annie. Jack found a picture of the machine in the ocean book he had, and he read, "Scientists who study the ocean are called oceanographers. Sometimes they travel in small diving vessels called submersibles, or mini-subs, to study the ocean floor." "It's a mini-sub," said Jack. He pulled out his notebook. "Let's get it," said Annie. "No," said Jack. Actually, he did want to see what the sub looked like inside, but he shook his head. "We can't. It's not ours." "Just a teeny peek," said Annie. "It might help us figure out the riddle." Jack sighed. "Okay, but we have to be careful. Don't touch anything," he said. "Don't worry," said Annie. "And take off your shoes so they don't get wet," said Jack. He and Annie slipped off their shoes and socks and threw them towards the treehouse. Then they stepped carefully over the sharp coral. Annie turned the handle of the hatch of the mini sub, and it opened. Jack climbed inside. Annie followed, and then the hatch slammed shut. The mini sub was tiny. 2 seats faced the big window. In front of the seats was a computer built into a control panel. Annie sat down. Oh, wow. Talk about a cool machine. Jack opened the ocean book and read more about the mini-sub page. Mini-subs have strong hulls to keep air in and protect those aboard from water pressure. Computers are used to guide the mini-subs through the ocean. "Oops," said Annie. "What's wrong?" Jack looked up. Annie was waving her hands in front of the computer. Now the screen showed a map. What's going on?" said Jack. "I just pressed a few keys," said Annie. "What? I said don't touch anything," said Jack. An air blower came on. The mini-sub jerked backwards. Get out, said Jack. He and Annie scrambled to the hatch. Jack grabbed the handle, but they were too late. The mini sub slid off the reef. Then it dove silently down into the deep, deep water. Uh-oh. Oh, that's the end of the chapter, boys and girls. That was a short chapter, but I want you guys to do this for me. I want you guys to get some writing tools out, and I would love for you guys to do this. We just read a pretty cool chapter that had some pretty good information in it. I want you guys to draw a picture of what you think they are searching for. Now, let's go back. And at the beginning of the chapter, it gave us information about what they were searching for. Rough and gray as a rock, I'm plain as plain can be, but hidden deep inside, there's a great beauty in me. What am I? I want you guys to illustrate what you think Jack and Annie are looking for. Maybe label it with some details. I want you guys to have fun with this, okay? So, don't forget, today we're celebrating the letter M. So mismatch clothes. Now, tomorrow, N is our letter because that comes after M. And N is going to stand for night clothes. So I want you guys to wear your PJs tomorrow morning for our morning message and our story. All right, guys, I hope you have a great day, and I can't wait to see you tomorrow. Adios.